That should all work very good. All right, let's see if we got some friendlies coming in here. All right, we got some people coming in on Facebook, a couple coming in on YouTube. Wonderful, 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 everybody. Happy Friday, y'all. You guys can feast your eyes on the horrifying footage of the Cookie Monster as we get ready for our guest, Dr. Burks. Good morning, Ollie Kirby. How are you? Morning over in Australia, that's right. Hello, Jason. Hello, Chris McWhite. I think this is going to be a legendary episode of Monster of the Week. Everything sound okay out there, you guys? Hopefully you can hear my voice. All right. Rob Otto. Rob, don't text in all caps. I'll think it's my dad sending me a tweet. So, hello, Tracy. All right. We got a lovely, lovely group of people. Let's get ready to rumble, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. Happy Wednesday, or happy Friday. I get my day screwed up. Welcome to Monster of the Week, the most monstery show you will see this week, unless you watch Pacific Rim. That's a whole different thing. We are today talking about the Cookie Monster, and it is a surprise selection from my guest, Dr. Raychelle Burks. She writes the All Traces Analysis column for chemistryworld.com, where she does a lot of work in showing how to kill people with chemistry. That's not the intention of the articles, but you can read between the lines, and it's definitely ways to kill people. The book I am pimping this week that is the closest to a Cookie Monster, I guess, would have to be Nocturnal. It's a lot like Sesame Street. There's monsters. They're in the streets, only it has a lot more blood. And instead of crunching on cookies, they are crunching on human heads. So that is what we are going to do. First of all, before we get into this, let me give you an idea of what's coming up very soon on Monster of the Week. Next week, actress Rachel True, she's going to be talking about John Carpenter's The Thing. She was in Half-Baked and The Craft and many others. She's a fantastic person. I can't wait to get her on and talk about it. It's going to be a good time. Then we're going to have author Amanda Diebert. She's going to be talking about Medusa from Clash of the Titans, the old school Medusa. Then we've got actor Lucky Yates, the voice of Krieger from Archer. He's going to be talking about Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors. And then 4 weeks from now, actor Bronson Pinchot, a recent addition to the lineup. He is going to be talking about The Wicked Witch of the West. And as you may know, Bronson Pinchot was the audiobook narrator for my book, Aliens Phalanx. Let's go back to Maine. Now, let me give you the bio of our guest. Let's see here. Where was I? Got it. After working in a crime lab, Dr. Burks returned to academia teaching in forensic science research. An analytical chemist, she enjoys the challenge of developing detection methods for a wide variety of compounds. Not a good person to know if you're going to kill people. I will just tell you that right now. Let me get my zoom up here. Too many windows, you guys. Too many windows. And let's see. Great. We'll have her unmuted. Let me finish the bio and we'll jump into this. Let's see here. Where was I? I believe she is the only person in the world who knows more about how to get rid of a body without leaving clues than I do. She is also a popular science communicator, appearing on TV and podcast at large genre cons such as Dragon Con, where we always hang out when there is a Dragon Con, Geek Girl Con, in addition to writing a science meets true crime column called Trace Analysis for Chemistry World. She is a member of local, national, and international committees, task forces, projects focused on social justice and STEM. Let us go to the guest. Oops, wrong one.
Hello.
Guest. I'm lost. Hold on. How'd I screw that up? Gosh darn it. Go back to Zoom. Here we go. That's not you. That's on me. We're going to go. There we go. Somehow I goofed this up. I'm going to adjust this as we talk. I also would like you to tell everybody real quick, you seem to know an awful lot about Murder, She Wrote and Jessica Fletcher.
Yes. I dare I say I might be at least in the top 5 experts on Murder, She Wrote. We've done a Murder, She Wrote panels.
We have done a Murder, She Wrote panel. Yeah, it was great. It was great.
I feel like that's not a bold claim. I feel it's a truthful claim.
And,
but I love it. I love it. I don't know why anyone invites her to, their house. I think people should stop doing that right away.
I think you might be the only person in the world with a spreadsheet on all the places that Jessica Fletcher has been and all of the people who have wound up dead in the places that she has been. Statistically speaking, can this possibly be a coincidence at all?
Huh? Sorry?
Statistically speaking, can it be a coincidence she just happens to be in the place of a murder and she is not the murderer herself?
I find it unlikely.
So what we are talking about today is the Cookie Monster. Dr. Burks asked me if she could do the Cookie Monster. He's like, hadn't thought of that, not one time, not never, but absolutely. Cookie Monster was first seen in 1969, which makes him over 50 now. He's a regular on the long-running PBS HBO children's television show Sesame Street. He's best known for his voracious appetite and his famous eating catchphrases such as "Me want cookie." Although he eats almost anything, including normally inedible objects, as his name suggests, his preferred food is cookies. Now, first question to you, Dr. Burks. Do you feel that when it comes to Cookie Monster, all is not the idyllic childhood icon that appears to be? Tell us what your thoughts are on the truth about the Cookie Monster.
Well, I think, a lot of people, when they think about crime, they think violent crime, right? We think murder, we think mayhem, Cookie Monster to me, people say C is for cookie, and I'm like, C is for con, because this little monster is a con artist. He has pulled a long con for decades on viewers. You think he's kooky, he's all focused on the cookies, everyone laughs it off, but literally on screen, he has been the head of a corrupt organization, a criminal enterprise. He's stolen on video. He's attempted to assault people and assaulted them. And nobody seems to really be taking it seriously.
There's no consequences.
They think it's all like rakish charm, which I'm like, he's done a good job, right? He has done a great job. They not aware of Cookie Monster's pronouns.
I'm not aware of Cookie Monster's pronouns either.
Right. But they have done a good job of just being like, oh, he's a character. He's kooky. He loves cookies. And I'm like, are we all letting him get away with decades of crime? I mean, the closest we got is him being accused of that museum heist in 2015.
And do you have any insights into what is the objective of his con? What is his goal with this? Is there an end game to it, or is it just perpetually getting free cookies like Popeye and spinach?
My view, my personal opinion, and granted, I'm a chemist, not a psychologist, but what I would say is my vibe in watching this is that the cookies, that is just a focus point for us. We're like, oh my gosh, she's obsessed with the cookies. We're just thinking this is like zany and cute and just give him a cookie. And it takes our focus off the fact that, first of all, he runs a gang of monsters, which we're introduced to very early. And he just commits larceny and strong arm robbery on camera fairly regularly.
Yeah, he just barges into place.
The cookie thing is like a bow tie. He's like the Moriarty of Sesame Street. You're just so dazzled by his like kookiness that you're like, oh, I'll just look the other way. Look at that scamp with all of his thievery.
Now, clearly, this is a plot by the powers that be to ignore his criminal efforts, because right out of the gate, a notable assault incident. Cookie Monster, still unnamed, made his Sesame Street debut in the first episode, interfering with Kermit the Frog's famous W lecture by eating a Model W bit by bit. He turns it into an N, then a V, finally to an I, to Kermit's frustration, and then he tries to eat Kermit. He never faces consequences for this. As a scientist, what do you think about him trying to eat another Muppet?
Well, was he really trying to eat him? Or was it more of just an assault? He was clearly assault. No, it wasn't even a try. He did assault Kermit, right? And again, the first introduction, and what do people say? Oh, monsters will be monsters. Exactly. You have a monster on screen being a monster, and we're all supposed to be like, that's fine. It's all right. Well, it's not all right. And I don't care if he is loving with the cookies and the kids dig him.
Yeah.
just assaulted Kermit the Frog, an icon, and we're all supposed to be like, that's okay. And then like a few episodes later, he makes a threat and brings an entire monster gang. He stole on camera Kermit's milk. And then when Kermit wanted to hold him to account, Cookie Monster's like, yeah, you and what army? And his little monster gang showed up and clearly made threatening gestures once again to Kermit. And we're all like, that's fine. It's not fine.
It's not fine. It's not fine.
Clearly abusive.
And it's, not just his gang. His gang, of course, is a family organization. His father's involved. His mother's involved. His twin brother, who purportedly doesn't like cookies, is involved. His nephew, his niece. It's all over the place. This nepotistic crime family is just running roughshod across Sesame Street.
And international.
Yeah, international.
There's this Alistair with the British guy who shows up in a smoking jacket, very Kingsman, very Masterpiece Theater. And so I'm like, so it's an international crime family, and we're all okay with it.
We're all okay with it. Now, you are a chemist by trade, but having general solid knowledge of science and the scientific process, I wonder if you had any insights into Cookie Monster's eating disorder. He eats cookies, he eats inanimate objects, car fenders, roadsides. He tried to eat Kermit. Dr. Burks, I put the question to you. Do we need to be afraid that Cookie Monster is going to eat people?
I don't think we need to be afraid he's going to eat people, but he clearly is a biter that can use it as an assault weapon. Now, is he a cannibal person? Well, because he's a monster, he'd have to eat other monsters. Is he going to actually eat another living being? I find that unlikely. We've seen, well, let me say that. We have seen no documented evidence of that. And he's very on the gram, right? He's pre-social media. They were all over the place. Their whole lives are on video.
Yep.
And he's very flagrant about his behavior, but that's not a consistent behavior going decades on. What I'm more concerned about is, and I am worried about him because clearly there is this behavior. Is it making him happy? We're not really sure. I mean, he's demonstrating happiness, but is it real happiness?
Or is it we don't know much
about him.
We don't know.
And his internal life.
Let's talk about some of his personality traits. Now, I happened to look up the personality traits of serial killers, not because I'm worried I am one or anything like that, but some of the traits of serial killers are, this is why I think we need to be concerned: impulsivity, addictive personality, and lack of remorse or guilt. You've addressed the lack of remorse or guilt. He shows no compulsion about the violent crime he conducts, the crime ring he runs on Sesame Street, but clearly impulsivity, and he's addicted. He's addicted to them cookies, man. He can't get enough of them. Do you think that's enough to put him on the spectrum of serial killers? Should we be worried from that perspective?
I think he's a serial criminal.
All right.
Okay, so I think, again, our focus tends to be on violent crime. And we almost minimize property crime. We minimize, maybe I don't buy him not being involved in that art museum heist. I really don't. I think he sold out one of his minions. But again, these thefts, these minor assaults, if you can even call an assault minor, this terror he's just everywhere he goes.
Yep.
People keep laughing it off, but these are real victims. And even if the crimes are misdemeanors, I'm concerned that we're minimizing it and we're minimizing their dignity.
Yeah. Yes.
People laugh and go, oh, but he only stole your cookie or your glass of milk, but it wasn't yours. I mean, that's not okay. Doesn't matter how much it costs.
I think the show producers of this reality television show known as Sesame Street, I think they are enabling this behavior. They're encouraging it. And of course, Cookie Monster gets all the accolades and all the props, gets to be guests on various large shows. While you're not involved with the show, how can they allow this behavior to continue and perpetuate?
Look, let's think about the last time we had a reality star who, quite frankly, was engaged in what I would easily call RICO offenses, so racketeering and furtherance of a corrupt organization. That person became president. The ratings are high. I'm just saying it's not outside of the realm of possibility that we not only enable, but we reward these, quote, charming rogues. Are they charming? Do
Definitely
they not
rogues.
have real victims? And when is enough enough?
Yeah, I mean, and also, I don't know how long we're going to put up with Big Bird's silence on this. Is Big Bird complicit in all of this? Doesn't say a damn thing. Big Bird is the biggest bird on the block and says nothing. Lets it go.
Well, I mean, I think my question is, what's he getting paid? Mm-hmm. What's the compensation?
Okay.
We're not really sure how big Cookie Monster's monster gang is.
That's true.
We saw a few of them very early on, but I think he got wise to putting too much of his business out there, unlike some other people. And so I wouldn't be surprised. Like, how do we know that Big Bird is not like his consigliere? I mean, we honestly don't know who's really running things. People think it's Big Bird or Kermit. Mm-hmm. Or Miss Piggy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not quite, who's in the whole Muppet racket, like in the whole scheme of things. I think people are so focused on these bigger than life characters that are zany or don't, Elmo and the whatever. And I'm thinking like, are we too busy looking at like Oscar the Grouch and thinking like he's the problematic
Everybody
one?
thinks he is.
And everyone is like giving Cookie Monster a pass because he's like, but he just is with the cookies.
Yep.
Nobody likes cookies that much. Yeah. I love cookies, but that is, to me, that is like a bow tie. That is like a zany outfit. That's just a cover for all of his other duplicity.
Well, the judgmental green hate towards Oscar, we're not even going to get into that, especially how Kermit allows that to happen. It makes no sense to me. But one other thing that I would like to point out, and then we'll see if we can grab people in the chat room, start throwing in questions. We'll take a look at questions for the doctor. Little known fact, because of the way the puppeteering is done, the Cookie Monster is left-handed because the people controlling the Cookie Monster are using the right hand to control the Cookie Monster. I would like to point out a couple other individuals who are left-handed. Jack the Ripper, Osama bin Laden, Tojo Hideki, John Dillinger, the Boston Strangler, Billy the Kid, John Wesley Hardin, and Hitler, who actually wasn't left-handed, but he really did love cookies. Is there guilt by complicity with the Cookie Monster being left-handed? No,
that is some shady pseudoscience. And it's tempting, right, to do that. But it gives me that phrenology vibe, right? Like, it's just like, let me just look at the bumps on your head. Like, let's not go down that route. I think that's danger lies that way.
Yeah.
I think the better thing is what we have done, which is to look at the decades of behavior documented.
Okay.
Right. We have videographic proof. And by the way, we have testimonials.
Oh, we do.
And Sesame Street, 2015, made an entire true crime documentary about this art museum. Now, of course, they exonerate Cookie Monster, but one has to ask, who were the producers and directors?
Yeah.
I think the evidence is clear. And that case, much like the Gardner Museum heist, which has never been solved, needs a second look by a team of neutral external party forensic science experts.
I think if you look at the expansive amount of crime on Sesame Street, you've got the meth lab with Beaker. You've got Oscar the Grouch, who's trying to work on garbage can gentrification. There's all kinds of things going on there. And what you're saying is that Cookie Monster could be behind all of this. And also,
yes,
his muscle is a 6-foot-tall yellow bird that has to duck to get under doorways. That's a terrifying thing. It's a terrifying thing. He unleashes this beast upon the street. What do we do about it?
Well, I think, we have to start asking the tougher questions.
Okay.
And we have to stop minimizing this behavior and recognizing, even if it is a misdemeanor, it doesn't mean that it's nothing, right? Even if it's someone, when you go to work, when we were out in the world before times and you had your lunch leftovers in the fridge and someone came by and ate your pad thai, you would have lost your damn mind.
Yeah.
It's not cool. So why is it okay when a cute blue thing, which is like nom, 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 is out there eating everyone's snacks? So let's stop minimizing it and let's stop rewarding it on social media. He's literally posting his crimes out there, doing it like you with the cookies, eating on camera. And people are like, love it, share it on Instagram, TikToking, whatever the play. We have to stop supporting larceny.
He is the John Dillinger of our generation. He is a celebrity for doing crime on the regular. Nobody seems to mind. Everybody just wants to worship at the blue temple. It's crazy to me. All right, let's go to the chat room. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have questions about an expert on Sesame Street, an expert on murder and chemistry. 3 things that not many people are experts on all at once. Go ahead and fire those in the chat room. Doctor, what are you? I'm having a Friday scotch to celebrate the end of a very busy work week. How about you?
I am having a cocktail called the Apple Thief in honor of our cookie thief. Allegedly, he has not actually been indicted in any of the 50 states or U.S. territories.
We are getting comments from the chat room. People are enjoying your dog. Could you tell us a little bit about your partner over there?
Yes, so it's Whiskey.
Okay.
Whiskey is a rescue pup. I've had him for 9 years. He is a scamp. And you can see he is getting really playful with his dog vet this entire episode. He is a Chiweenie. So he is a Dachshund Chihuahua mix.
Okay.
And I got him from a toy breed rescue center. And when I got him, he needed, eye surgery, and one of his ears is always up and the other one's always down because he was kept in a really small pen. And so he had a little nerve damage, but he has a big personality, really small dog.
Really small dog, really small dog. Question from the chat room. Rob Otto asks, how do you, I have not been able to stay in character this whole goddamn show. How do you have time to figure all of this stuff out about Sesame Street and Angela Lansbury when you clearly are such an accomplished individual? How do you have time to figure out what's going on dem streets, so to speak?
Well, I'm actually a vampire. I don't sleep. I just hang upside down every 12th month.
That leaves, leaves plenty of time.
It's a hobby, and I have been watching Sesame Street my whole life. It was a show that my parents and I watched, and I've always been a suspicious person. So from day one, I was like, right over there, that one right there.
I can only wish for a time machine to go back in time and see you at like 7, being like, that one right there.
And we all know about the Count. That whole street is just rife with vice.
The Count's running a whole different show going on over there.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let's talk about rehabbing Sesame Street real quick. There's only so much we can do. There's only so many tax dollars we can spend to rehab the street. What would you say what's the first thing we should do for those poor people on Sesame Street who are victims to the Cookie Monster and to the Count and have to deal with Oscar the Grouch's smell? I said it. He smells. I did say it. A little bit of green hit on my side. Oscar the Grouch smells. What do you think we do to clean up Sesame Street?
Well, I don't think the response is actually more law enforcement. I think the response is social services. Is mental health services. What do they need? Right? What are the services they need, and how best to support them? What's the internal life, and how can we connect them with the proper societal resources to really get them on the good street? Right? That's what we want.
I'm sure. I don't know which side of the tracks Sesame Street is on, but we want to get them to the other side of the Sesame Street tracks. In the chat room, A. Sigler asks, what is your thoughts? I'm a huge proponent of you never will have to remove a body, but if you do have to remove a body, you fold, don't cut. You never cut. She wants to know what are your thoughts on fold, don't cut.
Look, unless you're a professional, you don't cut. You fold. Right? It's a mess. It's not for amateurs.
Yes.
And it's actually can be very dangerous. You can hurt yourself. Some people don't have the strength to do it if they're trying to cut in the wrong spot. And many people don't know that you have to actually do it. It's actually a skill, right?
Yes.
This is skilled labor. So, I agree. I am unless you're a pro,
yes.
don't, this is not the time to try it. Right? This is not. No.
you don't want to be thinking on the fly. I mean, hypothetically, you don't want to be thinking on the fly if you have to get rid of a body. And are you the kind of friend that people, if you're going to kill someone, I should just not be friends with you? Are you like the Angela Lansbury, the chemistry world? Are you just going to rat us all out?
Well, I mean, if I'm your friend, right? Or am I a friendly acquaintance? I think that's the bigger question. right? So if you have to hesitate and you're like, I don't know if she would help or hurt, I'm probably going to hurt you. Because if you were the kind of friend I'd help, you'd know. You see? Don't, and again, not time to experiment. If you're like, ooh, I don't know. No. Right? You know the ones that will be comfortable transitioning from friend to co-conspirator. Mm-hmm. If you have any hesitation, put down the damn phone. That's a witness, friend. That's a witness.
Very good point. If you're like, is he going to back me on this? He will not back you on this.
He will not.
If you pick up you can pick up the phone like, I need you to go rent a station wagon and 5 bottles of acid, and I need you to be here in an hour, and they'll just do it. That's the person. Also,
don't actually call them that way unless you're on a burner phone.
Okay.
And don't buy the burner phone with your credit card or in a store that has CCTV anywhere near your home or office. These are free tips. You're welcome.
The last question from the chat room will be from someone I would call if I need to get rid of a body. Mr. Rob Otto. He would like to know, can you please talk about that shady ass Elmo?
Look, here's what I'll say about Elmo. Okay. Elmo has a lot to answer for, especially between the years of 2018 to 2020. And I think we all know what I'm referring to. Okay. And again, I have to ask us, why are we enabling this type of behavior?
It's not comedy. It's not.
It's not. And who is it funny to? Why is it funny? Why are we laughing at pain? Why are we laughing at this behavior? It's not only criminal, that's not only immoral, but it's also a cry for help.
Yes. Well, the conservative viewpoint is Sesame Street is full of degenerates. They'll never amount to anything. 50 years of television success, that's a fluke. We all know that's a fluke. They're problematic. They're just not going to contribute to society, and they're eroding our cultural values. And frankly, I'm sick of it. Your final take on Sesame Street and the Cookie Monster, and what you think this means for our society?
I think this show, like The Wire, is a mirror. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We toss it away at our peril because we are Sesame Street, and we need to live in it, but we also need to really be self-reflective and critical. This is an important show. It is telling us something, and we can't turn away from what it reveals about us.
All right. Final question. This one's from me. Of the Sesame Street characters, which of them do you think are not vaccinated against COVID at this point?
I'm pretty sure Oscar is.
Mm-hmm, of course.
He doesn't suffer any fools.
No. Smart guy.
I'm actually gonna say I don't think Elmo is.
Elmo. Okay.
I think he's playing a little fast and loose.
In my opinion, I'm pretty sure, I know that for a fact from an inside source that Big Bird watches a lot of Newsmax and is very, very conservative. So it's difficult to say if Big Bird is eating the bird feed, so to speak, or if he's following the science. I'm not entirely sure myself. Dr. Burks.
I lean to him because he's very risk adverse.
He is.
And one might think, oh, that means he would be afraid. No. I think he's also easily led. So my thing is, I think, a stronger personality was like, shut up and get the Moderna. And the bird was like, sure.
Yes. Yes. And one would like to think that Mr. Snuffleupagus was urging Big Bird to go get that shot. And
yes.
Dr. Burks, this has been a very educational and disturbing, from a societal standpoint, a disturbing revelation about what goes on dem Sesame Streets. So thank you so much for being on, and everybody in the chat room, I'm sure, says lovely. And thank you, and let me figure out how to hang up this call. Thank you for being on. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Great to see you. Bye.
Oops, let's get rid of that. Oh, let's call that up anyways. So Dr. Burks' column is, I wrote it down. Give me a second here. This is bad TV. It's all trace analysis column for chemistryworld.com. You can go read that. She has some very punny headlines on there. It's quite interesting, and you might like it. Before we say goodbye for the week and let you all get on with your weekend, let's once again take a look at the upcoming guests. What a wonderful lineup. Next week, hopefully, unless she's still on movie set, we will have actress Rachel True, who's going to be talking about John Carpenter's The Thing. That is an element of The Thing in the upper left-hand corner. And we're very specific on the show. We talk about a monster from a movie. So somebody in the future could talk about the original Thing or one of those off-the-wall remakes that were kind of weird. But we're talking about John Carpenter's The Thing and that monster. And then on September 10th, author Amanda Diebert, who is a big comic book author and has huge influence on Twitter and does a lot of fun stuff. So we talk about Medusa from the Clash of Titans. I'm super, super pumped for that. And then on September 17th, I'm going to have a fangasm myself. I'm a huge fan of Lucky Yates' work on Archer. He's talking about Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors. And then 24th, an absolutely delightful, hardworking human being, actor Bronson Show, who was the audiobook narrator for my book, Aliens Phalanx. It's me talking about the mother of all monsters. I said it, and I stand by it, the Wicked Witch of the West. That is it for this week. I hope you all enjoy your weekend. I hope we have you back next week on Monster of the Week. I'm a little bit shook up. I'm a little bit disturbed at what we have learned here today about the dark side of Sesame Street and the kingpin of crime on Sesame Street, Mr. Sidney Monster. Yes, he has a first name, or they have a first name, I guess. It goes either way. Sidney Monster is a difficult individual. We have to find a way to deal with this individual if we're going to rehab Sesame Street. And I think we all want to rehab Sesame Street. We all want a better place. Let's get rid of Cookie Monster. Let's get rid of Elmo. And let's let Rainbow shine once again. Good Friday, everybody, and I hope to see you